What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing the deck tech on Rakdos Sacrifice, which I think is the best deck in Historic at the moment. I have an above 80% win rate with the deck at the moment. Over the past year I've played a lot of Sacrifice and been able to get what I believe is really good at it. So I think I can definitely help you guys to improve with Rakdos Sacrifice and kind of give you a list to start off, which obviously you can adapt and change to how you wish to play it. Because I feel Rakdos Sacrifice is one of those decks which different people play it in different ways, and there are different outlooks towards the deck. So with my version of Rakdos Sacrifice, obviously with Sacrifice, you start off with a core of it with 4 Cauldron Familiar, 4 Witch's Oven, 4 Devil. That's kind of the base in every deck, and the rest kind of changes around it. Now, one of the cards which I think is super powerful, which is undervalued a lot, is Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Now, Priest of the Forgotten Gods works really well when used in conjunction with Chandra, Acolyte of Flame, which I have added into the deck. Now, with Chandra, you make 2 1/1s, so they attack, and then you sacrifice them at the beginning of the end step. So if you can sacrifice them to other abilities which you control, it causes a lot of extra value for you. Whereas normally, say you play Priest and then you would sacrifice a Woe Strider and a Goat to get the ability. Instead, you play Chandra and there's no downside to sacrificing the 2 1/1 elementals. Yeah? So that's the first thing I'd like to talk about, because I feel a lot of people know the basics of Rakdos Sacrifice by now, but I want to kind of go on the intricacies which some people don't know, okay? See, the other thing that I'd like to talk about is, at the moment, Sultai is a very, very, very prevalent deck. It's the so-called best deck in the meta. So, now what's nice about Sultai is, so when Nissa comes down, it's a 5 loyalty card. +1, it's up to 6 loyalty. So we've got a lot of creatures in this deck which have 3 power. So we've got Scrap Heap Scrounger, we have Midnight Reaper, we have Woe Strider, we have Mayhem Devil. All of those will deal 3 damage to a Nissa. Now, we get an additional damage for Nissa if we have Claim the Firstborn and we take a land. That equals 6 damage exactly, and yeah, it is a very nice combo to work together with. Now, for that reason, I know some people would take Claim the Firstborn, at least sideboard some copies of it out of the deck. However, I think that against Sultai, it is probably the best card in the deck. So, it steals lands. Now, it also steals Uru. Say they spend their turn spending 4 mana getting an Uru. Okay, they draw a card, gain 3 life, put a land on the battlefield. Still is a lot of value. However, if we can steal their 3 mana creature for 1, and then we also get the trigger of draw a card, gain 3 life, ramp 1, that is very, very nice. And I feel that Claim is undervalued a lot in these Sacrifice decks against Sultai. Now, the other additions I've made to the deck is I've added Karizev's Expertise. Now, another Yoink effect is always just really nice, and this being able to cast a spell with mana cost 2 or less is really good, especially considering we've got Dreadhorde Butcher, Scrap Heap Scrounger, Priest, Witch's Oven, Claim the Firstborn, the list goes on and on. We've got a lot of cards with mana cost 2 or less which can get utility from this. And essentially, if you cast a spell with a mana cost of 2, this is just to Claim the Firstborn, but for any sized creatures, and let them creatures with any mana cost. Yeah? So, we also have Chandra, Torch of Defiance. Now, it's only a one-off, but I feel that when you don't know what deck you're playing up against, just as your base deck list, it's really nice to have. It's versatile, you do damage, and also, say you get to the point where you can ultimate it. It's just amazing, 5 damage every time you cast a spell. Incredible. Another thing that I would like to point out is when sideboarding, people are kind of scared to sideboard out Mayhem Devils. So I'll say that when I'm playing against Sultai or 4-color, I will take out 2 copies of Mayhem Devil. That is not the way you win against Sultai. You don't win by pinging off their Nissas on a creature. You win by stealing their creatures and killing whatever. In all essence, Mayhem Devil is just a 3/3 in that matchup. Yes, you will get extra utility by sacrificing permanents, but you will only be using it to ping them down. You won't be able to ping off any creatures, really. And yeah, so I feel 2 copies so that you're kind of, when you play 4 copies, you want either one in your opening hand or one very soon to draw it. Which, as a base list, is correct with Mayhem Devil. You do want one in your opening hand, and if not, you want to draw it pretty quickly. However, against Sultai, what you want to do is you want to draw it later on into the game just to finish them off. You don't get as much value when you have it earlier on into the game because all you're wanting to do is kill Anissa. And for that reason, when you look at my sideboard, replacing it with cards such as Noxious Grasp or Thoughtseize, which actively go against the Sultai game plan and make your deck a lot better against it, there's just so much upside. So the other thing I'd like to talk about in regards to sideboarding is when I normally go over sideboarding, I normally say, all right, these are the cards in the sideboard for each matchup. But I don't really normally talk about what to take out. Now, against Sultai, what I normally do is I take out 2 copies of Priest. It's generally not as good. I take out Karizev's Expertise, unless I see that they have one of the 5-mana creature or any like larger creatures. I played against someone the other day who was playing a Doom Whisperer, which I mean it's a reasonable card to have, but especially when I had Karizev's Expertise, it had so much upside. However, in normal Sultai matchups, they won't have cards like that. So you take out 1 copy of Kari's Expertise, take out 2 copies of Devil, and take out a Chandra. So that is 6 cards that we've taken out. The reason we take out Chandra is it's a bit too slow in the Sultai. You want to be very aggressive and proactive. Now, Chandra being a 4-drop is not really what you want. So we've taken out 6 cards from a main board against Sultai. So you may be asking, what do we add in? Well, what we do, we add in 4 copies of Thoughtseize, standard, and we add in 2 copies of Noxious Grasp. Now, if they're playing a 4-colour variant of a deck, we want to be adding a 3rd copy of Noxious Grasp and also keeping the Chandra so that it can kill the Yashan with a -3. Now, in that situation, we want to consider maybe taking out another Devil, maybe taking out a Gutter Bones, or just kind of loosely trimming around. Dreadhorde Butcher is one of the best cards in the Sultai matchup. The same goes for Scrapheap Scrounger, and just cards like that. So, also, now let's go on to aggressive decks. So, when I'm playing against, say, a Mono Red or a Gruul, what I would like to do is I'll take out 2 Gutter Bones. They're awful against aggro, and I will take out 2 Scrapheap Scroungers, because we are not going to be the ones proactive attacking. We want to have good blocks, and we want to be defending. Scrapheap Scrounger not being able to block isn't very good. Gutter Bones as a 2/1 also isn't very good, especially when it comes into the battlefield tapped. So what we add in then is we put in 2 copies of Fatal Bush, Great Removal, and 2 copies of Braid. So those cards I really like. If we're playing against a Gruul deck, for example, or even a Jund Sacrifice or a Rakdos Sacrifice, I would like to add in Act of Treason. If we're playing against a deck with a lot of Planeswalkers, I will add in Bedevil. I wouldn't really add it just to do with creatures. Maybe if they're playing an artifact, which, you know, say a Godfarer's Gift deck, you would want to add a Bedevil in. And Soul Guide Lantern will come in, obviously, against Deluros, Rakdos Arcanists type decks. 4 copies of Thoughtseize obviously coming in whenever you're playing against a control deck. So yeah, I think that's all the kind of deck tech I need to go over. I think a lot of you will be very used to how to play Sacrifice normally. If not, you can watch one of my videos here. I'll link it now, and that should show you kind of how to play Rakdos Sacrifice at a lower level. Okay. With this, I feel like I've gone over a few more advanced type theories. Some of them might not be right, but from how I've played in the past, they have worked very well for me. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into the games. Alright, so we're going to play this game. Makes it a lot... I'm not quite sure about this hand. Obviously, Witch's Oven turn 1 is always it's a really good thing to do. But not having a second a play to play on a second turn is a bit weaker. I do quite like Midnight Reaper turn 3. Karizev's expertise is obviously better later on, especially if this is a creature deck. But yeah, alright. We'll play Witch's Oven. We could play Blood Crypt tapped, but just in case we draw a creature turn 2, I think it's better to lead with a mountain. Yeah, I mean, we could still. Dragon Skull Summit still comes in untapped. Right. Play Garthone. I mean, it's not an awful play. I think we're playing against Gruul. Okay, this isn't really what we want to see. The speed at which they played it shows that they don't have a creature to follow after this. They're a little bit hesitant, or maybe they're trying to think of what they want to do with this mana. I mean, I'll definitely take that. Get Midnight Reaper. The good thing with Midnight Reaper is if we steal a creature of theirs and sacrifice it, we still draw a card. I mean, he's going to keep giving us these. What's the word? If he's going to keep allowing me to trade off his Bone Crusher Giants for a food, I'll take it. I'm going to keep it like this. Hopefully he doesn't have another Bone Crusher Giant. That'll kind of take a minute. What he should do here is he should block with a Pulp Collector. Alright, really good. Yeah. I'll take the priest trigger. It allows me. Well, I would have been able to pick up bones anyway, but I want to get the extra card draw, especially considering we're on the back foot in what cards we have. We've now got Kari's expertise as well for if you play something such as Question Beast or another larger creature. Alright, exiles that from a graveyard. Our life total is pretty much 15 plus 6, because 3 life for each food. I mean, Gruul is very good matchup for us. If he plays one creature now, it's weaker to me finding a creature. Alright. We want to get Gutter Bones out of the graveyard for sure, or else Clovis will just exile it. Although on board we've got a lot less life, our actual board presence is a lot better here, especially considering we know we've got Kari's expertise in hand. So I see us winning this game. I'll sacrifice with Ghost Rider, because I feel like the extra scry is worth more than the extra food here. Okay. What's this? We want to just try and maybe get a cat or not a Dragon Skull Summit. Okay, I'll take this. That was another card, so Burning Tree Emissary. Anything after that? I hope not. What could he have? He could have another Shatter Skull. Okay. We'll activate Castle here. We've got more than enough life. Especially now. If you sacrifice this Woe Strider, we could just get rid of all of the cards from our graveyard to bring it back as a 5/4, which is a very good, you know. Then if he doesn't block, he loses. Because we could just sacrifice Cat to Cold Familiar to gain an extra damage for each food. And as we have 3 food here, equals 3 damage. Stick that to the bottom, because we want to get a good card just in case he's able to stop it. But with the way it's resolving now, I don't think that's any chance of that. So we did manage to beat Gruul. Even though the hand we took was a pretty slow hand, we drew into some nice cards. So yeah, game 1, we get the win. Now I'm going to do what I said, and I'm going to take out 2 Gutter Bones, 2 Scrapheap Scroungers, add in 2 Fatal Push, and 2 Braids. Now, because it's Gruul, there's going to be a lot of green creatures, obviously, so we have to consider Noxious Grasp. Challenge is a little slow. Yeah, I'm gonna play it like that. The rest of the cards we want a lot. Obviously, Claim is a powerhouse against all aggro decks, alongside how I described it playing against sultai. Rakdos is the deck I would definitely choose to, you know, rank up at the moment, especially for me because I've got a lot of experience with the deck, and I win a lot of games, which obviously leads to good progression along the ranks. Yeah. All right, this is a good hand. Yeah. So pretty turn 2. Obviously, yeah, we don't want to see a Carabao as much, and we kind of want to see another land. So we can start going into Priest, and it's a very good hand for this deck. Hey Priest, next turn we hit land, we can take Woe Strider and Priest. We take 8 damage here. We've got to take, well, we'll lose if not. Okay, I think we lose here. It's unfortunate, but you know, it is how it works. I'm a cleave. Yeah. Alright. So we were never going to win that game. Their carve out was too good. It's possible the hand I took was too slow. But I feel like for the cards we had with double Priest and a Woe Strider, wanting 1 land drop out of 3 draws wasn't too much of an ask. But yeah, they had a great carve out. There's nothing much we can really do. Yeah. We will mulligan this one. I'll keep this. I should have played Blood Crypt tapped. That's my fault there. Alright, well, if we can get double Midnight Reaper down, the Priest will draw us it will draw us 4 cards, well 5 cards actually. Okay, so we'll go for Midnight Reaper next turn. trade off for a scavenger use here. We'll keeping a braid up for the pelt collector. Okay, so we go down to 10 here, which is a precarious position, especially considering we're going to be playing out a Midnight Reaper. Got this. Okay, so we go down to 8, so 4 Clothish triggers and we die. Okay, we get our Chandra. Okay, alright. We need to win pretty soon, but I feel we can with this hand.
Living in a monastery full of firebrands? It's awesome. They're so cute!
Play it like this. We just want to draw as many cards as possible. I think an oven would be really good here. Okay. Difficult position here. We really need some live game. Yeah, we just need live game here. Trade off Devil. Obviously it'll die next turn, but as if that'll die and the question beast will die.
These little guys are great!
We need to get a oven soon. Okay, well if this guy has a Bone Crusher Giant, we lose. There's nothing we can. Oh, I forgot I did that pre-combat. It's my bad. Okay, alright, good game. We needed to get something there. Good game. It's really frustrating that. Because if we had an oven, it was totally different. Yeah. We could sack one of the elementals every turn to gain 3 life. Netting one life a turn, but yeah. It's one of those things. Alright, into the next game we go. It's an annoying one last game. Getting Dire Screws game 2. And just not getting in the oven, and yeah. Alright, this is a decent hand. All of our lands come intact, but we've got Gutter Bones into Priest, into Claim. Alright, play like this. Does he have Shock or something? Spike Kills? What could he have? Okay, we're playing against another aggressive deck, which is, it's pretty good. It's a really good matchup. So Priest, hopefully he doesn't kill it. Okay. Okay, Devil. We've also got Oven plus Claim to do at some point. Okay, we can still just Ricari's expertise and sack it if we get a land. We didn't, but like I'm fine with that. We can still do it next turn, unless he's got a breed. So maybe that was a small punt, but I feel he would have breed. Okay. We don't want to. We can sacrifice it in response. I mean, we can. We could have sacrificed the cat in response to the devil thing, but I don't think that's the correct play. It's possible that sacrificing the devil, however, to ping a damage would have been good. But you know, that's hindsight. Just kill us off now. That's one of the things I do like about Kari Zeb, is it can deal with the indestructible creatures. Okay, alright. He gets the Grafdigger's Cage. Oh. You know, as you do, you know. I'll play this. I mean, come on, how could you really top deck any better than this guy? I mean, we're still in a commanding position this game, but like,
Guess you don't need me anymore. Time to die.
Okay, alright, this is a really nice play up for us. Like, we've also drawn well. Like, it's unfair to say that he's just drawn a lot better than us. Although if he does draw a kill spell for the, you know, this is a very fair game in that he's drawing amazingly well and I'm drawing well. I can't complain too much here. I do see some content creators online who are constantly like moaning about, oh, you know, the game's rigged against me, when actually it's not. And I am quite conscious of not being one of those people. But yeah, I mean, these are the kind of matchups we want to get. Alright, so we win here. Even with mono red drawing as well as they can, it's still just a really tough matchup for them. So I do feel sorry for this guy playing a matchup. Although if he carries on drawing like he did that game in the next game, he should have no problems. With me seeing that he has, what's it called? Hazaret. I don't know that reason here. Take out a Chandra. Yeah, go like this. I mean, even though we saw the main deck Rastigger's Cage, I still don't think that's enough for me to bring in a Bedevil. Like, we've got just too many ways outside of that to win, to worry about it that much. We don't have a black source. Okay, alright. Let's go like this. Yeah, our hand is not being very good at all. He wants to kill this, he can. Because of the way it was holding priority, I know he's got a kill spell. I want to just kind of burn it on a creature that's not as good, so not a priest. Okay. because he did that before combat, we can now kill the Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, so he's got another kill spell, so I'm just going to play Priest, Midnight Reaper. We get a draw out of it. Yeah. Alright, so hopefully we can draw a Claim next turn to deal with this Bone Crusher Giant that's going to come down, no doubt. If he chooses to kill my Woe Strider here, I mean, what can I say?
Today's my lucky day.
How to draw the nuts every game. We don't want to take full damage here. We'll happily go to 11 and just try and deal. And I can't bring this back, obviously. We just lose. We just lose here. Yeah. I still think the Challenger is too slow for our deck. But... Alright, I don't... Okay, this is a really nice hand. Let's be positive here. Like, this hand is a really, really nice hand. We'll play Canyon Slough first, and then we'll lead into Witch's Oven and Cauldron Familiar. Then they act as a blocker. It's harder to deal with. Yeah, we've got to hope that they don't get graphic as Cage. However, this, as it is definitely a really nice hand. Yeah, we'll be positive about this one. Okay, so, you know, stopping him from attacking. You can't write this sometimes, like, it's had a page every game. I mean, that, like, I feel it's good enough to attack there. Obviously, he's going to have something to do to be able to... Okay. Alright, well, you know... Like, this is an alright position here. Like, obviously, we would prefer it if he didn't have this cage, but as it is, we're getting along without it. Say we draw a braid. Okay. So, alright, okay, well, we will draw a card here. I'm not sure why it's tapped my black mana though. That seems a little bit silly. Well, this is the way we can kill the Rob of a Rich and, you know, that's definitely an unfortunate turn of events. However, we've still got a very good hand. Let's keep be positive about this. we're still on the front foot. He's kind of got to kill this priest or else it'll take over. Hazaret, I mean, if that's the only card he plays. Okay, can we win here? Yeah, because if we sacrifice Cauldron Familiar and Goat, we do 2 damage. We swing in for 8, and we can use Hazaret's ability to get down and do another 2 damage. Alright, well, Mono Red is one of our very favourable matchups. I didn't expect to play against 2 aggressive decks today. At the moment, I've been playing a lot of Bant decks, and what else? Sultai decks in general. But yeah, let's get into our next game. Alright, it's on the play, but we've got a very nice curve out. Priest into Chandra into Devil or Reaper. Like, this is an insane hand. Whatever deck we're playing against. It seems to be sacrifice. Or some kind of all next. Yeah, sacrifice. Get Priest down. Hopefully he minuses to kill it and then swings with the Stitcher Supplier. Actually, even if it doesn't swing, we still kill it. Play this. Create 2 1/1s. Send both of them to Nebraska. He could block the Stitcher Supplier, milling 3. The outcome's the same. So I'll take that. With Stitcher Supplier, it's a bit of a weird one. So I think he's playing a Citadel variant of the list. Okay, so go to combat, swinging with both of these. If he's got a claim the firstborn, it sucks, but what can we do? And like, there's no real way to play it. I suppose we could have played Priest, but then that's leading into him having Corvold, and considering he's already milled a claim the firstborn, it's less likely. Alright, okay, so we get game 1 under our belt. We had the Devil, they didn't. Interesting. So, Act of Treason's good. No. Our deck is very well tuned towards sacrifice. What's less good in the sacrifice deck? See, I haven't played against Jund Sacrifice in such a long time. I feel like Dreadhorde Butcher gets a lot worse. It's possible that we should have taken out an additional 2 Dreadhorde Butchers for 2 Abrades. I'm not sure though. So we'll get turn 1 of them into Bacon Devil with a claim effect. So this hand is already looking, it's looking even better now. Yeah. Okay, Trail of Crumbs for them is a very nice card. Yeah. Okay. Unless they get minus screwed here. He'll also go for Devil here. I want to be greedy. Yeah. Alright, okay. Nice one. I'm not sure he should have quit there, but he did. We'll take it. Yeah, so those are the games. Hopefully, I've helped you guys learn how to play Sacrifice a bit better. Thanks ever so much for watching. If you could you subscribe, leave a like on the video, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.